and welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea, Flosstube number 47. It is Thursday the 30th of March 2023. My name is Victoria.
Kia ora, my name is Catherine and my pronouns are she, her, and I thought I would add a new te reo phrase.
Ooh, cool.
And I will say haere mai, and that means welcome.
Yes, welcome. For those who have seen us before, welcome back, and for those new, welcome. Haere mai.
Yeah, thank you for finding us.
So it has been a month since our last confession. Mainly due to me, because I had...
Excuse me, all due to you.
Oh, there's some dinner. Yeah. Catherine has just made us a lovely dinner.
I'm so good.
Yes, all due to me because I was doing various sewing classes, which you will see. So other than sewing, I have been working and sewing and sleeping. And the weather has changed, so it is much cooler than it was before.
Yeah.
So it's lovely, except for those couple of times when it was way too cold. So the winter woolies are coming out.
Which is fantastic. I've got my mittens out, vest. It's great.
It is great. Unfortunately, it means it's getting a bit darker.
Yeah.
So less daylight, but that's okay. And daylight savings starts in New Zealand next week. This
Oh,
week.
does it?
This weekend. This
Oh,
weekend the
okay.
clocks do something.
I don't pay
I don't know
attention.
which.
Fall back, jump forward, fall back.
Oh, that's good. That means sleeping. Even better.
You know it evens out, don't you?
Yeah. But that first 3 days is much easier this time around than the other time around.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I have a dog. Husband wakes up too early.
So that has been me for the last 4 weeks. What have you been up to?
Just life as normal, really. I have recorded in Spanish. So you'll notice, so I recorded 2 weeks ago in Spanish because I didn't want to not. And also caught us up. We now have the same number in English and Spanish. But also, because I recorded in Spanish, I was like, I talked a lot. I wasn't as tired. And so I'm now recording on Wednesdays on my own. And as Victoria said, it does take up some extra time in my week. But actually, it's kind of 50 minutes. And I really like doing it. You know, I do it for my daughters. Eventually, they can... see me when I'm not around. So yeah, that was really good. So I did a recording yesterday. So, and I can't think, my art class has restarted. That was one thing that happened. I'm fighting with it already because I'm that person. So I'm frustrated and irritated that I have homework and there are rules that they want me to follow. But I love it. The really exciting thing in my life, Victoria, is that my garden is producing.
Your garden is producing. We had things from your greenhouse for tea. It was lovely.
Yeah, we had half a cucumber because we harvested a cucumber yesterday, and mesclun for the salad. And what's amazing is that the glass house has only been there 6 weeks, and it's amazing that we have managed to produce that sort of stuff. And it's just lovely because there's no plastic involved in our salads anymore. We're going to harvest the pepper on Saturday. We think it's ready. There's 2 peppers. We think one's ready, but we're going to harvest it on Saturday because Martin wasn't here today. We're going out tomorrow for a thing, and I think we're both home on Saturday. So that would be, oh no, I'm having dinner out with my friend after art. Maybe Sunday. So life is exciting when you have a garden. It feels like you're winning at life. So that's really good. Apart from that, sleeping, reading, sleeping, working. Yeah.
Excellent.
I have a lot to say, so I'll try and chat less and...
Yeah, a lot to show, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we both got quite a bit to show, obviously, from having a month's break. So
Did I say or share? I thought it says share, but I'm tired, so...
yeah, we're both let's get into the end of the week. So, Catherine, do you have any fully finished objects?
Yes, I have 2 fully finished objects. So I've already shown these in Spanish, and I know... Thank you for letting me know. I know quite a few of you watch both. So anyway, this is one. So this is the design from the antique that I bought about 2 years ago.
Oh, start and tip. Sorry.
Go to your place. And I made it into Pincushion. And you'll notice that it's got more space here than at the top, because I can't imagine ever putting pins in here. So they'll go here.
Oh, cool.
They'll go in this space, because it would be a shame to ruin it. You do see these really antique ones, and they're knackered.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy with this, and I love my finish. I used some of the leftover triangles from my half square triangle.
Quilt.
Is that how it's called? Half triangle square. One of those. So anyway, it's all my my lovely secondhand fabrics and the K facet that I love. I love this peony fabric. So yay! And it's filled with all my bits and bobs, leftover fabrics and that sort of thing.
Excellent.
And from one of my trousers that ripped, cut the leg off.
It gives beautiful dense texture to them. I would highly recommend having fabric scraps and things in it, as opposed to, I don't know what other people would put in stuff.
People use polyester fill, which is a plastic, and it comes from petroleum. So of course I'm not going to use that. But also people often talk about walnut shells because they like the weight and the density. This is like that. This feels great. So highly recommend. Anyway, I love it. Another monster pincushion.
Beautiful.
Sorry, I keep looking at the dog, making sure that she's behaving. And my second finished object is my, I'm going to forget the name. I forgot the name of this designer.
It's not
Tracy Nash. Stacey Nash. So it's a Stacey Nash. Is it a Red House pin keep?
I think so.
I don't know, but this is the one that I loved. The full coverage at the bottom. It was delightful. Check out the intentional mistake. Nobody in the world has one like mine. Anyway, I love it. It's just got quite a plain secondhand fabric, but I thought that was okay because it was quite busy at the front. Love it. Loads of changes here because my personality. Anyway, I love it. I love Stacey Nash's projects. I'm trying, because I've got so many massive projects, I'm trying to do some little ones as well. So anyway, I love this one.
It's beautiful.
Yay. So that's the, so now I'm caught up with last fortnight.
Excellent. What about...
Have you got any fully finished objects?
No. Have I got multiple starts? Yes. Have you got any finished objects?
I have 2 finished objects.
Oh, you're gold starring tonight.
I know, and there is a funny story about one of them. So, okay. She wants to go out, but there's no reason for you to go out unless you...
I'll let her out.
No, because then she'll run off, and I'm not sure what she wants to do. Sorry, I'm talking about my dog. Anyway, so I watched. She's going to be annoying, isn't she?
I'm going to put her on her chain outside.
Oh yeah, because she's got her blue thing.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Excuse
do
me,
that.
people.
I'll just keep going.
Yep.
Okay. So I watched this Australian Flosstuber, and she was talking about an Orenco waterfall, which is by the same, I think it's Hokusai. They are the Japanese artist, and I love the wave, but I want to be contrary because everybody does the wave, and I was like, I will not do the wave. So then she talked about this amazing waterfall, and I loved it. I was like, I can't do another project. So then I thought, if I finish a large project, I can buy that one. So of course I ran and finished it. Woohoo! But of course, what has happened is that now that I've finished it, I'm not sure I want to do the Orenco one. Because there's a lot of yellow and I thought there was more green. So I'm thinking about it. Very shiny. So I am thinking about it. But in the meantime, I have finished this and I am delighted because I love it.
It's gorgeous.
So I did these 2 lines. And then I did these 2 boxes. And then at the end, are you alright?
Yep. I've got my stuff everywhere, so it's a bit of a mission.
Yeah. And this at the end, it was like, to my friend, whatever. Well, I wasn't going to do that because it was just, I made it. So it says, made by Catherine 2023. Hecho por Catherine 2023.
Beautiful.
So I'm super delighted. This feels like a big achievement because this was one of the first things that I bought, wasn't it?
I remember, yeah.
So I'm really happy. This was made with a fabric called Rain Cloud. So I bought loads of fabrics to kind of try them out and see what this linen malarkey was about. And it's by Number 12 Stitch Co.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, 36 count. So I really recommend this. If you want to make this one, If you want to have like samplers from different countries, this is a Mexican sampler. It lives in a museum in America. But Yanni Stitcher, so her name is Yanni, but her channel is called Yanni Stitcher. She actually did the chart. So you would have to contact her and say, can I buy the chart of you? And she sends your PayPal invoice, and then she sends it to you by email, which is great.
Excellent.
I'm very happy. It feels like I'm not just messing about. Can you see the detail? Can you see all those little lines that they put there? It's so adorable. Like those calligraphy books where you would have your little
when
lines.
you're practicing your printing at primary school.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with this. So I need to organize myself because I've still got needles and leftover thread in my little Mondine bag.
Lovely.
From a wool shop in Portugal. She's a great, amazing producer. And I have to tell you the color number because I love it. That was the only one. I was really faithful to this color because I just thought it was so beautiful. So it's 312. DMC 312. It's a beautiful blue. So there we go. So that's one of my finishes.
Excellent.
Bam. I don't know if the next one is a start and a finish. I don't know if you've seen it. It might be a start and a finish.
I think it's a start and a finish. You're overachiever, you.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because I felt a little bit overwhelmed because I had too many projects, so I cast on some more.
Because that helps.
Yeah. So this is, I think what it was is that I was feeling a bit overwhelmed, but all my projects will take me 3 years to complete. So I was like, I just want to finish something. So I started something and I finished it. So this is from this book, which is called Red Letter Day. And when I was doing it in Spanish, I was like, I think Red Letter Day means something. Because I wasn't sure. I thought it meant something good. I've since Googled it, and Red Letter Day was a phrase that initially appeared in relation to financial investors. So at the end of the financial year, that was a red letter day. So it was like this, the end of the financial year, presumably they did well. Mm-hmm. Whatever. But anyway, it's a thing, Red Letter Day. So Teresa Vanette, she's a wonderful designer actually, and she buys lots of antiques and then makes beautiful things, patterns from it. This is not actually from a sampler, this is actually from basically a tea towel, but a showing off tea towel for when guests arrive.
Display tea towel.
Yeah, and isn't that a thing of beauty?
It's gorgeous.
It is so beautiful, and I was just saying last time, I love this design so much, I want to do more of the same. And this was, I'm trying to use up bits of fabrics that I have, and this was a 32 count. I want to do it in a 40 count, and I want to do like red on red, or white on white. I think that would look super cute. But anyway, so this is my finish.
Oh, it's really pretty.
Of course, I was being contrary, because I'm not going to do red, because it's red. So I did turquoise. But I think that looks really nice, and I'm going to turn this into a drum.
Beautiful. I was just going to ask what you were going to do with it.
Yeah, because I think I'm like over pincushioning myself. But I thought it would be fun to do a drum because I haven't done a drum. So that would be a fun thing to do. I've watched a few YouTube tutorials. It doesn't look complicated. It does require you to have your iron to hand. That really is the only thing that requires is to have your iron, because I'll do it by hand. And I wasn't in the mood to get up and get the iron. I had to walk like 12 steps, so I was like, nah.
Wow.
I know.
That's way too much effort. Getting the iron out's way too much effort. I agree with that.
But isn't it pretty?
It's really
Gosh,
pretty.
People are clever. Now people go to university to do design courses. And people didn't have like a design whatever back in the day, but they made beautiful things. And you know, a lot of the thing that interests me is that women, this was such a creative outlet for them in a time where they were forced in a way to be at home, and that might not have been their vocation.
It's lovely.
So anyway, I really recommend this book. I just love the work that she did with this book. It's so beautifully laid out and illustrated, and she's got beautiful essays.
Did you say who? Yeah, you must have said who did it.
Yeah. So Teresa Vanette. So I've now forgotten the name of her channel. Kitten Stitcher. She's got a shop as well. But she's got great essays, and she even includes a thing, because she knows we're interested, on how to find an antique sampler. So she talks you through how she shops for antique samplers. So really worthwhile. And she's just published, oh God, 15 minutes, sorry. She's just published another book, but it's not grabbing me as much, which is great because I'm spending too much money as it is. But anyway.
Excellent.
Yeah, there'll be more projects from this book for sure.
And that's your whips.
These are my FOs.
FOs.
All done.
All done? Now a whip.
Well, you do a whip.
I'll do a whip.
Yep,
we'll do a whip.
A drink of water.
So I will run you through in the order that I did my classes. Now, the classes were fantastic. That's not the one I want. Did I bring the one I want?
I'm sure you did. You're laden. But maybe not in the order you thought you had them.
Not in the order I thought. This'll start. Okay, so the first class I went to was a 3-day class to do the stitch bag.
Are we too dark?
The sweet bag designed by Di Fisher. Do you want to turn another light on? Can we turn that one on?
Yeah, it's a bit dark. I'm not sure the ring is working so well now.
It did have an almighty crash when I tripped over it and broke my floor fan. It all went crashing down. I think better. Okay. I'm blinded, so I can't see. Okay. So this is the front of the sweet bag. It's all gold work. So Di Fisher is an Australian embroidery artist who was over doing some classes. That's the front, and there's a I'm gonna call it a worm, a caterpillar, and a bird, and a moth. It's super sweet. Show me. And what I discovered, and was ever so slightly disappointed in discovering, is that when everyone talks about a sweet bag, I thought they put lollies in it.
Is it sweetmeats?
No, it's like potpourri and that sort of thing for when people stunk.
Oh, like sweet-smelling pomander.
Sweet-smelling,
yeah. In fact, funnily enough, I was going to say to you, I've been all over the internet looking at pockets and little bags and stuff, and they have bags not dissimilar in shape to this, stuffed with lavender. So when you're finished, I've got lots of lavender that I'm planting. I could give you lavender stalks and you could just stuff it and you'll have the stalks sticking out.
Well, the millions of hours it's going to take to finish that, there will be no nature entering it whatsoever. It'll be behind a glass case.
Oh, well, that's okay.
With laser beams protecting it. And there's a beautiful little motif on the back, which I had a picture of and now I've lost it.
Gosh, those were the times, right? When you would just... Everybody would just stink a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But you wouldn't notice it because everybody would
stink,
bit,
so you'd just be normal. Beautiful little motif on the back.
Nice little detail.
Yep. Gotta get it back in the pocket. Right. So, bearing in mind that this was a 3-day class, I feel I got heaps done.
Yeah, but that was learning skills.
It was learning skills, right? And so I've got my start of my caterpillar going. I've got a leaf and what are the things in the middle of flowers called?
Stamens.
Stamen going up there. I've got a start of a leaf going there. I've got a little bit of braid work going there. And all these wee white things that you can see, that's actually the pattern tacked onto the fabric. But you can't see it very well because it's the same colour. There is... Oh, that's the braid. That's a leaf. Anyway, and there's the motif. This was lovely because it was counted.
Oh, so the top is the front
and
the bottom is
so
the back.
It folds in half. Yep.
Cool.
So
is this calico? Calico
on the back, linen on the front. So you stitch through.
So it's 2 layers.
Because it's gold work. It's quite sharp. And it hides it.
Interest. Let's have a look.
So although there wasn't a lot done, we were learning a lot. We were talking about things a lot. Was so much fun.
I don't understand what you mean by all these little white things are the pattern.
Yep.
Do you mean embroidery?
No. So the outline of the pattern, like almost you could trace it with a pen, but because you see some of it, we just tack it and you take the tacking out as you stitch.
Oh.
So
tacking, okay. Mhm. I'm not being pedantic.
Tacking is probably not the right word. It's just what I called it.
So when you're saying tacking, it sounds like you're putting something on it, but you're not. You're outlining it.
You're outlining it, yeah.
Okay. So that's what I was confused because
technically I put tissue paper. I printed the pattern onto tissue paper.
Yeah.
And then put the tissue paper over the linen and then tacked both of those together and then pulled the tissue paper off.
So it's not tacked.
No.
No, okay.
But it got the pattern on the fabric.
Yes, so it was an outline. Okay, so because it's really, you can't see it on there, it's very lovely. It kind of looks like this will be like a phantom effect behind your work, but we're not going to see it.
No, you won't, because technically you're supposed to pull it out, but I was just stitching over it by the end.
And actually, there's a lot of stitching there that you did of that outline.
Yeah, it was...
all of this is that outline. That's fabulous.
I don't think you can see it. Oh, maybe you can see it all the texture in there. And that's fun. So it's done in gilt passing, which is a wire thread.
Great.
So that was super fun.
How many people in the class?
That one, I believe, was 12.
Right.
The class was held out in Moscow in one of the Presbyterian church out there, and the wee church hall was lovely. Lovely location.
Have you been there before?
Yes, it was where the Die Fisher band sample was held last year.
Nice. Because there's a big crafting community in Mosgiel.
Oh yeah, we're there, and in the other room, the Spinners and Weavers clubs are out there doing their spinning and weaving. And
shout out to the Mosgiel Public Library. They've got an amazing textile and art craft book collection there because of that. Obviously, they've had lots of people over the years requesting books because there's lots of crafters. Cool. Whips. Oh, I did have a couple of things to show you that I had finished, but they're little details.
Oh, that's all right. Show them now.
So this is casting our mind back to when I got obsessed with cross stitch. I was like, Victoria, I'm obsessed. I don't have any appropriate fabric. So I did these initials of my girls on some antique linen. That one. I've actually done Sophia's upside down. So that one's Christina's, the C. And that one's Sophia's. I need to turn it around. You can see it looks better as that S. And so I've just made them into little brooches to go on my bag.
That's beautiful.
I will probably end up doing more with them, but in the meantime, I just wanted them displayed. I'm so sentimental. I just love having their initials near me. So that was one of the things that I'd done. And of course, I'm sort of slowly tidying up my studio, and I keep coming across things. And I also came across another thing that I did. I've made it wonky now. But I found it and I was like, oh, another thing. So I found those and I found this, which I'd also embroidered 2021.
Look at that. You dated it and everything.
Yes. And I made it into a...
Did you make the court?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's not hard. So I'm really happy with this in its wonky marvelousness. I got all the little bits from my book.
Nice.
One of my books. So yeah, I love these little like pointy things. It's great.
Beautiful.
Anyway. So yeah, that was a little aside of little finished things. Do you have another whip?
Yep.
Whilst you do that, I am going to go and let her back in because now that she's been out for 3 seconds, she wants to come back into the house.
So my next class that I did was the second part of the Die Fisher band sampler, which you all will have seen.
Well, you would have shone because you were a good pupil.
Did not shine. I was not bad girl. I got my homework done, but one of the women had completely finished all the bands from the first.
Oh.
Other than the gold work, which she was leaving to do until all of it was in, and then she was going to go back and do the gold. So for those of you who...
Oh, so you weren't like Peach's bed?
Oh, I had probably done one at some of the least.
Oh, really?
I would have been in the bottom half.
You have a job.
Have a job. So this is the Die Fisher band sampler. Isn't it gorgeous? And so last year we did the classes for this one, this one, this one, and this one. So this year we did this band, and this band. And I will show you how much I got done.
Got your place.
I keep it in a pillowcase because I'm terrified that my cats are either going to sleep on it or piss on it.
Or just get it all hairy.
Just get it hairy. And so the pillowcases, which are cotton pillowcases, I feel just protected a little bit. Plus, particularly when I'm hauling it around half the country.
And it makes you look mysterious.
I know. So, I got a caterpillar done. I was one of the few in the class to finish that element in the class. I think it's a thistle, but it looks like a cactus. Got that going. And I got half a rose going. So that was
rose?
down here.
Ah, yes.
So that was, and I've got threads everywhere.
So which were stitches that were challenging?
On this one, the gold work on that caterpillar was hard because you have to manipulate the gold into the shape that you want.
Aha.
And, oh, up here I've started doing the centre of something. And I wouldn't say that any of the stitches are particularly challenging. You just follow the rules. It's just time, and it's all counted, so it makes it a lot easier. For me personally, I find the counted stuff easier.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
Just time. It's beautiful. So, all up. Woohoo! She's going to be big. So the top's up here and the bottom's down here.
But this is it, isn't it? It's not supposed to end up folded into anything. It's just...
No, it just hangs on the wall.
Beautiful. Because I'm one of those people, I actually love it like this. It's kind of almost like stitch archaeology to me.
Yeah,
like
with all
you
the
just
threads.
imagine someone in 1820, someone died and that's how they left it. And
Yeah.
I just think it looks really beautiful.
So
Nice.
you got a next one? Sorry, I'm just putting the patterns away.
Yeah. So another thing that I showed in the Spanish one is when I had COVID, I couldn't really, there were, I don't know, you're home, you're allowed 5 days leave. Actually, not everywhere, but at the university, they still give us 5 days COVID leave.
I thought you still had to technically take 5 days. You had to stay home for 7 days.
Yeah, but they're not, people are not getting it as COVID leave.
Oh,
So
they have to take it as
use,
sick
they
leave.
have to use their normal sick leave. So in
Right.
the university, we still get given 5 days COVID leave. And if you have bad symptoms and you're still quite poorly, you can negotiate an extra 5.
Mm-hmm.
I only took 5 days, but gosh, such a waste of crafting time because there were days where most days I couldn't do anything. But one day I felt well enough, but all I could do was straight line.
Yeah.
So I finished.
amazing.
So I finished the sleeves. So this is going to be my blouse. These are the sleeves for my blouse. So I finished. I just had these 2 lines to do. That one there, and that one there.
You fold it over. I thought that was the back. And I was like, Catherine, I think you're showing the back.
No. So this is going to be one sleeve. Like this,
Beautiful.
and then the other sleeve is going to be on the other side. And I think I'm going to add things further to that. I'm also going to sweet talk Victoria because I want her to give me some of the fabric. Because we went halves on this. Because it's fabric that Margarita gave us.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think you've used it, so I'm going to...
No, it'll be in my
sweet talk
fabric
you.
stash. She'd come and raid it.
Yeah, because there's not enough to cover either my chest or my back. And I've been looking at my fabrics going, what else can I use? But I would, if you don't mind, I would really like it to be with the same fabric. I can do a swap.
You don't need to do a swap. You can have it.
Anyway, this is just going to make me happy.
So pretty.
And I just love that I'm using the threads that were given to me. This was part of that stash of threads that was sent to us.
Yeah,
from
that was
the
the
UK.
multicolored, the beautiful multicolored stuff.
I mean, I love them. And you wanted one to display in your house.
I did.
So there might be one left over in the end because I've still got...
How gorgeous.
I mean, I'm planning to do more stars and stuff, but I've got 3 full ones left. And I've also still got this one. So
Yeah.
in a year, I might say, Victoria, have a Hank.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's going really well. I love it. It's beautiful, soft fabric. And I love that it was a gift as well. I love gifts. I like sentimental gifts.
Beautiful.
They kind of add to the history of things. It's really lovely. Ooh, am I seeing shopping?
Yes.
Is this class?
This is class.
Okay, cool.
And shopping.
Yeah, well, yeah.
See, what did I actually do with the shopping?
Pardon?
Oh, I should have shopping, but I may have left it at home.
Ah.
Let me have a look. Oh, don't know what I've done with it. Must have left it at home. So, you done?
I'm done with cross stitch.
Excellent. So, the third and final class I went to was Wisteria, Ribbon Work Wisteria, and Stump Work B. So I got 2 books. So originally the pattern had been designed with a gold work B, but we're doing the stump work one. It's gorgeous.
Oh, hang on. So you're not doing the gold work?
Nope, doing, so that Wisteria, but that B.
Which is much smaller. Here. Yeah?
It was actually about the same size, but I think it's just the different.
Yeah, that's what I
versions
mean.
of the
Like,
photocopy.
it's this size. It's
Yes.
not that size. Because, yeah, okay, great.
No,
Another
and
one?
so these are Fiona Crowler Aker. I apologise, Fiona. I need to learn how to pronounce your last name.
Crowther acre, I would say.
Close enough. And
Well, the surnames are interesting, aren't they? Because sometimes they can not resemble. It just depends on the history. Oh my goodness!
so we got the ribbon work wisteria done. I love all of it except for this one, which I need to take out and redo, I think.
Why?
Oh, it's like normal size, maxi size.
But that's nature.
And that's the body of my bee. And here are my wings.
Oh wow, separately.
Yeah, because there's wire stitched around the outside, and so then you stick the wire into the bee, and it's like, so they're proper 3D
So
wings.
you'll be cutting it.
Yes, I'll be cutting it.
Oh, I see what I mean. This one got a lot of compost.
It did get a lot of compost. But there's a whole lot, there's a pile of like chain stitching stuff to do around there, as like leaves and things. So I'll do that in first before I take it out.
Ah, okay. And then you might change your mind.
I might change my mind.
That's very lovely.
But it's cool.
So is this cotton? Is this double layered as well?
Yes, there's a
Oh yeah.
poplin. Is it poplin?
Possibly.
On the back over something else.
Much stronger looking cotton
Yeah.
or calico. Yeah. Beautiful.
That's cool. So that
Can I
was
have a look at your leaves?
my wings.
Okay, so sorry. So this is just the bee. You're not doing the flower.
No.
That's what's disconcerting
No,
to
it's
me.
just the bee.
Is this gossamer?
Organza.
Organza. Gosh, look at you.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing. You've done amazing. You've learned so much in the last March.
Yeah, in March. March has been busy.
She's gone to the dark side. She was like, oh, I just really like cross stitch.
Oh, it's so much fun. Super loving it.
Great.
So you may as well, I've still got more stuff to show, but we'll just keep going back and forwards.
Okay, so what has
Because
happened?
this isn't cross stitch either that I've been showing you.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think we're the channel that people watch because we follow rules. So I was talking about this on Instagram. I did a little video on my
It's
Instagram.
amazing. I haven't seen this all finished.
Oh, haven't you? It's because
No.
I haven't seen you in March.
Yeah, I saw you were doing this bit when I last saw you.
So I've made myself a hussif, and I've dropped the thread, and I'm super delighted with it. So this is a sewing roll or hussif, which is Old English. And I know in American they call it housewife now, but that doesn't have any of the charm of Old English. So I'm going with hussif still. But it's super lovely. It's got a pincushion, which is made with my half square triangle quilt fabric that I had left over. Some fabric from when I made Christina Victorian style dress for the Oamaru Victorian Festival. All my secondhand fabrics that I love. I have...
Do you want me to hold it while you point at things?
No, it's all right.
You're all
I can
good?
manage, yeah. I've got a little bag, a little scrunchy uppy bag. Was I doing that with you?
Yeah, you were stitching that on when I was here
Yeah,
last week.
so this has my have I taken them out? My thimbles. And it has a row counter that I'm using at the moment. I had it in there and I was like, oh, I've got a row counter here. So one of the lovely things about this is that I've been able to use lots of my bits and pieces of secondhand fabrics that I love, but also the buyer's binding. This is like 1940s. I bought these little packets of old buyer's binding such a long time ago, and finally I get to use them. And then it's got it's got 4 pockets, so you can put all sorts of bits and bobs in there. But also, mind your fingers, because that's...
Sorry, I thought you were handing it to me.
No, sorry. Needles can go here, and I've got some pins. So,
It's
super
beautiful.
handy. And I love the back as well. I'm just I love flowery stuff. And mustard, you can't go wrong with mustard. It's the
It's-
best thing.
Gorgeous.
Yes. And I made I was really worried because these scissors that cost me something like $2 are amazing, but they're so sharp. I didn't want them to be damaged, but I didn't want them to damage other things. So I did this triangle thing, and it's got some plastic inside that I cut from a folder to protect the fabric and the scissors. So
Excellent.
I'm super happy with this. I didn't follow a pattern because what I did is I read lots of blogs, and I also went, if you go to Pinterest and you Google, you search for hussifs on Pinterest, it sends you to lots of museums with their collections. So it's really cool. You can go on, and they're super straightforward. Like back in the day, people didn't have patterns for this sort of thing. So super straightforward to do. Lovely lovely way to spend 3 days of your life. So that's that.
So, you all know that I have been working on Home Sweet Home. The construction class to put it all together is the first week of July. So I set myself an ambitious goal of, there are 17 elements, and there were 17 weeks. There are now significantly less than 17 weeks, but there's still there are less. I've got more elements than there are weeks left, so I'm a bit behind. But March got crazy.
is finished now.
March got crazy. So I will show you what I have done.
Nice.
So the easiest one to access is... So this is Autumn Orange. This is the back wall of the house.
Nice.
And this is where I'm at. So I've got the basket done, I've got the tree and
That's
the
amazing.
oranges
You've
and the
done well.
leaves. And this little bee I was doing last night. I don't know
You've
if
got
I
a
can get him
theme
in
with the
focus.
bees at the moment.
I do like a bee. He looks much better in real life. I'm quite pleased with him. And I was just putting the grass in when I got too tired last night. So I've just got the flowers and the grass down the bottom. And then I'll sew the charms and the beads on.
Oh, there's a skep.
There's a what?
A skep.
What's a skep?
A bee skep.
Oh, yes.
Hive. No, but that's actually a skep. They don't
That's a
do
skep,
this anymore.
yeah.
Well, they don't do this in many places, but that was the old-fashioned way of
Ah,
having the
that's so
hives.
cool.
But they stopped doing it because basically the bees died in the process of extracting everything.
Oh, yeah, so now they do the lift out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's coming along.
Is that bunny going to be gold work as well?
No, that bunny is a charm.
Ah.
So it's like, sew a button on. I can do that.
You can do a lot more than that these days. Is that a charm?
Yes,
What is it?
it's an owl.
Ah,
My owl looks better than that.
great.
And
Cool.
yeah,
Very good.
so that one's coming along. So we're over halfway on that. I will hopefully get the grass finished tomorrow night, get a lot of the flowers in, and it should be done by Saturday.
So is this what you call one element?
This is one element.
So there will be some elements that are little.
Yes. So the house, if I steal this,
Yeah.
the house has what I'm calling 6 elements. It's got the 4 sides, the roof, and the underside has a little made by stitch on it. So that is 6 elements. But this little tape measure cover is 1 element. That pincushion is 1 element. The scissor sheath is 1 element. And I think that's a thread spool holder, is 1 element. And some of these elements have very little stitching on them, and some of them have a bit more. So I'm hoping that I can sort of catch up at the back there.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that we're going to be putting this together over 1 weekend, so there's no way that everything will get touched. I'm sure that everything will be talked about, but I'm not sure how much will actually
And
get
they'll give you the instructions, right? Or are the instructions in the book already?
The instructions are in the book.
Oh, okay.
It's just, you know,
You'll be able to do it.
yeah. That's all the bits and pieces. See, there's like a little scissor thing that's just got a flower on one side and a couple of stitches on the other side. So that's like a day to sort that out.
Do you have to do the box as well? There's like a little compartments box.
Yes, but there's no sorry, there's no prep stitching for that. That's just done in the construction class.
Great. You're doing really well because you were really struggling at one point.
I had such a mental block on this project. I really love it, but I was so out of my comfort zone because it was surface embroidery. It was lots of different stitches.
It was not counted.
It was not counted.
And it seemed like a lot as well.
It seemed like a lot, but now I've done so many other classes and learning new stitches there that I'm finding a lot of things are crossing over, and I'm learning how to read the instructions, like the terminologies and things.
Very good.
Plus I have a fantastic book called the Right Hander's Guide to Embroidery Stitches or something. It's fantastic. Highly recommend.
Cool. Very
Do you want to show your next one before I show what else I've done?
Yeah. So... Oh yeah, we're just doing a mixture of things now.
Yeah, we're just mixing it up. We're changing it up today.
We've not given you a chance to leave. We haven't told you that you can leave if you're not interested. I continue to make progress on my top. So I had to undo it to about here because I've made it too big. Actually, no, I undid the whole thing.
It's
So I made
so
it too
beautiful.
big. And now I've divided for the sleeves. So I've measured, and these are good sleeves for me. And I'm now this much into the chest. It needs to be about 30 centimeters before I do the next step. I love it. I'm super happy with the color. I love lace. just love
It's
lace.
so beautiful. So is it just
It's now plain knitting.
plain knitting as opposed to
Yeah.
the lace work at the top?
Yeah, it's just plain knitting, and it will end up with a rib.
It's beautiful.
And I'm still going to finish it because even in winter we have glorious days here.
Yeah.
So
Cold morning.
The joke can be that sometimes winter day could be warmer than a summer's day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, you could get 17 degrees in winter.
Yeah, 4 seasons in one day in Dunedin.
Yeah, and sometimes you struggle to get 17 degrees in summer. So I think I will get use out of this.
Yeah.
I am short of summery tops.
Yeah.
Because I've never trusted summer and I worry about skin cancer. So all my tops tend to be long sleeves. But I'm trying to relax a little bit about it. I
So
love the
beautiful.
colour.
It's gorgeous.
And I've caught up enough, and because it's a smaller size, I'm using less yarn. I'm now caught up, so this is not rewound anymore. It's like fresh
Yep.
off the spool.
Excellent.
And I think I'm going to have enough to give my daughter-in-law the leftovers, and because she's a very little person, she can probably get a top out of this for
Beautiful.
herself with my
Yeah.
leftovers. So that'll be great, 'cause she loved the colour.
The colour's amazing. I think that's one of my favourite. Is it canary yellow, would you say?
I don't know, it's the best.
It's
yellow.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous yellow.
Thank you. That was from Chile. So that's the perks of travelling. I just love it because I become very relaxed about shopping.
So did you buy that at Christmas? No, you haven't been to Chile this.
Yes. We spent Christmas Day in Chile on we spent Christmas Day in Chile.
Excellent.
And I bought it just before that.
Yeah. So, I possibly lied a bit. I have got some finished objects. This is one element.
Oh, an element. I see
This
what
is the
you're doing.
roof. And I love this. It's a real honeycomb 3-dimensional.
You can really appreciate the
It's
honeycomb
so
from the back.
beautiful.
You can really appreciate
Have a
the
look at it from
honeycomb
the
back.
front.
I don't think it's as honeycomby. Look at the back. It looks so
That's
honeycomby.
the back. And that's the front.
What plays with my mind is that you actually worked on it diagonally.
I
That
did.
just- that
So I
played with you.
stitched it with basically satin stitches diagonally each row, and then you weave another thread in and out, which sort of
Oh, it
that's
cinches
so
it in,
cool.
and
Yeah.
that's why it makes it
That's what
hexy-
makes it
hexy,
hexy.
right?
I was super pleased when I finished this.
That's cool.
Oh, hi people, sorry about that. iPhone storage full, so we had to do some very quick deleting.
Hopefully nothing important.
Hope not.
So what were you saying?
I was basically showing that I have finished one element, and it is the roof, and it looks gorgeous like honeycomb,
Yes.
and I'm super pleased with it. And I zigzagged around the outside because everyone was laughing at my sellotape, and this one was fraying a lot.
I know you say that. Were they actually laughing?
Yes, they were like, "Oh, you're so using sellotape." Anyway, oh, one thing.
It's funny. Place. Go to your place.
I have gone from using hoops to using stretcher bars, and I'm loving the stretch.
You said that last time that it was so much easier.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
So much easier. Loving it.
Apart from like the massive one they have to move about,
Yeah.
which is a bit cumbersome.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
But it's interesting because when you see professional embroiderers, like when I look at the Mexican embroiderers that are doing like the big huipiles with a lot of embroidery, it's always a rectangular frame. It's never hoops.
No, or it's quite often those roll frames, and they start.
No, I've never seen.
You've never seen that?
No, I don't see professional. I mean, I follow a lot of accounts. That seems like a home hobbyist thing.
Could well be. I mean, I still use my hoop for like if I'm stitching in bed, or why do I stitch in bed? No, I still have a hoop. I still use my hoop, but I'm finding for that, love it stretched over the stretcher bars in my standing frame, so hands free.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it might be that you always cross stitch with hoops, but you do this sort of work
Yeah.
with the stretcher bars.
Really mixing it up.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Do you have another thing you want to show?
Yeah. So I've made really good progress with my quilt. So last time I was at the halfway point, and now I'm at
Wow.
this point. So last time when I'd shown it,
So
I'd reached that point. But now I've put 2 of those together. And so that's what
look how
I
thick
have.
this pile is. That's like an inch of.
I think I've got 22 of these squares,
It's beautiful.
which is actually enough. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I do love the combination.
When you put them together, I'm assuming you're going to rotate.
No,
No. It's beautiful.
no.
Sorry, I put it on the wrong pile.
So I've got enough so that it covers my bed. But I wanted to go down the sides a little bit, not too much. But if you remember, if you've watched before, these are all either shirt fabrics or shirt-like fabrics. And so the shirt fabrics, probably Martin. So what I do, you'll have heard this before, I buy second-hand shirts. I give Martin the pick so he can choose if he's going to wear something. He wears it, and when it gets a bit raggedy, I get it for quilting. But sometimes he's like, no, I'm never going to wear that. So that's fine. And then I just take it. And a lot of the fabrics were second-hand from that Stitch Kitchen, which is the...
recycling store almost, isn't it?
It's the diversion store from it going into the ground. So I love this. I'm really enjoying it. And so what I'm going to do, I've also got this little stack of the ones that I haven't joined yet, and that was so that I could play around on the edges. There's quite a nice little stack, which is great. I'll use it for other things as well. So, and it's amazing because now it's going to be done in no time, because I put the two of these together and suddenly almost a quarter of the quilt's done. It's
excellent.
Amazing. Yeah. So really happy with this. And you know, I do all hand stitching, which is such a relaxing way to quilt. If you're a machine quilter and sometimes you're like, ugh, try hand quilting, hand stitching, because it's so relaxing. Like I say, you can do it in bed. You can do it waiting for the bus. You can do it in Zoom meetings. It's great. So hopefully next time I will be able to show you these. And what I have decided is I do need to start quilting. I basically have 4 quilts ready to quilt, almost. So I can't keep making tops. I'm going to...
Well, you've timed it well going into winter.
Yes, I was saying that in the Spanish one. So I've decided for the quilts that I'm going to keep, I'm going to use a blanket for the middle because it's much more inexpensive and I know how to look after my quilts. The quilt I'm giving my daughter-in-law, I am going to buy wadding because she's not a quilter. I'm not sure how well she would know how to look after things. If I gave her a wool blanket, she might shrink it in the wash and then it's completely ruined. But it's expensive, so I'm waiting until Spotlight or the other place, what's the other place called? Lincraft have a sale, because wadding is very expensive. So
especially the wool stuff, which
I know. Yeah, I'm likely to buy wool, so I'll just have to wait. Another element.
So this is the front. All the beads are on. The only thing that's missing is that there's a bead that goes on the door handle and just that.
What is that?
Door handle.
Is that a key?
That.
Can't quite see it.
So it's a carrot and a pot. They're wee charms.
Oh, I didn't see the pot. Yeah.
Yeah. So there it is. There's some things here that if I've got time I might like to redo, but it's fine for the moment.
Well, see, to the picky eye, to the not picky eye, it all looks beautiful. But the maker always has a different eye.
Yeah. There's things when I was stitching. So super pleased to have 2 elements finished, and a third should be done by the end of the week.
Yes. Also, we've got Easter coming up. There's going to be loads of stitching
5 days.
Surely that's 3 elements, right?
So I was supposed to. The aim was to have everything for the box done by Easter, and then I was going to spend Easter tracing the patterns for all the little bits and pieces onto the other big bit of fabric, but I'm not going to make it because Easter's next weekend. But hopefully I'll get the sides of the boxes almost finished or finished.
I'm sure you can get so much done over Easter, and then you'll relax again.
Yeah.
Nice. So this is what I showed last time. I really want to show you this because I am amused by my project bag. So I did a massive thing in my Spanish one about you should follow my lead and buy rice from an Indian shop, and then you end up with these sort of, they're kind of cheap bags that are this kind of papery fabric, and have your projects in there. I love it. I love that it's from, this was exciting because this was basmati, but it was brown basmati. We don't buy we don't buy white rice. We only buy brown rice, so we don't buy basmati. And I eat basmati if I go to an Indian restaurant. But they had brown basmati. It was very exciting. And then we ended up with this sack, and then Christina didn't like it.
Didn't like the sack or didn't like the brown basmati?
She didn't like the basmati. I think she felt that the aroma interfered with the taste.
Oh, okay.
She's quite sensitive to... She's got an amazing sense of taste.
Got a good palate, yeah.
Very good. You could not hide things from her when she was growing up.
Wow.
But now it's just impressive. It's like, oh,
This
have
has
you
got
put
this-
so-and-so? And you're like, amazing. Anyway, so what I have in this project, I have all the threads that I've picked for this project. Because this is my allium piece. Just as professionally as Victoria has done, I've traced it over my window with pen, and it's a bed sheet that Victoria gave me when she was having a clear out. I'm really looking forward to getting this started.
I love the size you've printed it. It's cool.
Oh, I made it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, monster size. The true reason I didn't start on this is because Victoria couldn't film. So I have a basket in the corner, in my little house, in the corner of the dining table with my projects. But because I had projects from last time and this time, because I still needed to hold on to them to show them, I didn't think I could ask Martin to put up with my embroidery frame as well. So I was like, I'll just wait. But I think I'm going to become obsessed with this once I start.
So gorgeous.
So beautiful. And I love alliums. They're one of my favorite flowers. I haven't bought any yet. I need to buy some to plant here. So, and the top is going to be my Naked Goodness body. And I think I'm going to have me sitting down.
Cool.
Because that has looked really cool in some of the art embroideries that I've seen. So watch this space. I've got...
Are we going to have to put like a warning,
No.
an R rating?
No, I'm going to cover my nipples.
Get yourself some, what do they call the pasties, the nipple pasties?
What's that?
They're like the stickers that the stars and starlets put over their nipples when they've got like transparent dresses on or
Oh, really?
very tiny tops.
No, my hand is just going to be placed just so. Also, nudity's fine. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I love the fact that it's on a bed sheet that Victoria gave me. That's like the best bit.
It's great.
And it's going to be a curtain. Because speaking of nudity, overshare alert. I don't have pajamas. I'll just say that. And so when I get out of bed, people that are passing my house can see because Martin opens the curtains. And he's always like, people can see you from the street. It's like, okay, I'll make curtains. So in about 6 years, we'll have curtains. So don't forget, if you go out and buy yourself a basmati rice bag, please let me know in the comments. I'll be very amused.
Oh, it's a great way, great reuse of it.
I've been saving it for ages, thinking at some point in my life I'll know what to do with this bag, and now I do.
So my final worked on project for the night is the good old favourite, a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. This has very much been my, if I'm going somewhere and I'm going to be doing some chatting, I take this. If my brain is just fried at the end of the night, I take this. I haven't done that much
There's
of
a lot
it.
of fill-in, isn't there?
I haven't made an awful lot of progress, but I have made some progress. So, that's where it sits. I need to do some pressing.
Oh wow, you've made loads of progress.
There.
It's looking fuller.
I think I've just been working on this bird.
The weird bird that we love.
The weird bird, that's awesome.
That would be a great badge.
It would be. There's so many elements in this. I was like, oh, I'll pick that out and do it on this.
Will you ever that?
No, but you could. It's
We
beautiful.
move on to the next thing.
The snail's awesome. Anyway, so that's also had some work done.
I love the bird. Is it a bird or is it a turtle?
It's a
'Cause
bird.
It's got like a...
Oh yeah, it does have.
It's
it's
a bird
feathers.
carrying a turtle.
Feathers.
What's it
But
called?
look, it's got a weird little mohawk thing going on, and this eye that follows you around the room. Gorgeous.
Yeah, that designer is amazing. They've got at least 2 that are weird like that. That are great.
Yes, maybe when we get on to purchases,
That's
we can
right.
have a look
No,
at
no,
some
you've
more.
shown it already. You've shown it already.
No, I don't think I have.
You showed me one and it cost a lot of money, and you said, Catherine, I know how much your camper cost.
Oh,
Is there another one?
was that at my? I can't remember.
No, you've shown it.
Oh, I was showing it. That's okay. Then I hadn't put it in my place where I'd put showing things.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is that it for stitching?
I've got a library book to recommend. I've got a couple of purchases. I've got a couple of books that I bought. I've got Happy Mail, and I've got the class that I'm doing.
Fantastic. So that people, is the end of projects that we're working on. Now come see what we bought. Catherine hasn't seen what I've bought.
No, I haven't. But it's okay because I'm sitting down.
She's going to go, oh, Tori, how much did you pay for this? And I'm like, you bought a camper.
Yeah, that's right, because I'm her mum, right? I'll read the
Plus, it was my
benefits.
birthday. I spent my birthday money very quickly.
Oh, was it your birthday?
It was.
I never know when your birthday is.
It's good. People are not supposed to know.
I know. I've taken a week off work for my birthday because hopefully nobody that I work with knows me. But I told people not to do anything, and then they gave me a card. And I know it sounds like I'm obnoxious, and I am obnoxious. I know I am, but it just irritated me because I don't like people to get me cards because it's a waste of resources. There's no need. Just like if you're gonna see me, say happy birthday. If you live in Peru and you want to wish me happy birthday, I mean, like send me a WhatsApp message. But I can get the thing about postal wishes, but for someone to give you a card in person.
See, I'm like, no, I'm not paying $8 for a card, and then I'm not paying another $3 to post it. I don't do cards.
Yeah, so anyway, I've taken a week off for my birthday. So I'm totally behind you in this idea that nobody needs to know about my birthday.
No. My birthday wasn't in the midst of all those classes, so I was pretty naked.
It was or it wasn't?
It was. I was working.
Oh, wow,
it was a
you're
working day, but it was in the middle of those classes.
You always take a day off for your birthday.
Didn't this time. I used
to.
I didn't this time. Because I already had 4 days off that week, or 3 days off that week.
Okay, can I show my purchase that is like $5 so that your next one looks really bad?
Yeah.
Really excessive, yeah? Okay, so I went to Oamaru, which is north of here. Lovely little town where the Victorian festival is. And I bought a ball of wool.
It's beautiful. I love the brown.
Yeah, so unfortunately... So did you know that, if you're not in New Zealand, did you know that New Zealand was the first country to come up with FPOS?
I know that we're early adopters.
No, we were the first ones to do not pay wave, but FPOS, where you pay
using a
with
plastic
your
card. Yep.
It came from here, so we're very kind of cashless. But anyway, in the market, you had to pay by cash for the wool. So we only had cash for one ball of wool. So I want to go back and buy another one. It's beautiful. It's called Natural wool. So this is from a farm. They're farmers and they produce their own wool. It's undyed. I don't know where it's processed. It doesn't say. 100% New Zealand wool, probably processed abroad, because it's one of those things. But anyway, it's really beautiful, and I thought I'll make Martin some fingerless mittens. Actually,
beautiful.
no, that was my excuse. What I thought was I want to buy the wool. I'll have it. So, yay. There we go. You next.
Are we going to do one?
Yes, we're going to do one at a time.
So, actually, I'll show the other one first. At the sweet bag class.
Holy macaroni, there's a lot in this bag.
At the sweet bag class, we were talking a lot about, well, this book is referenced a lot, and it was in class. So this is...
And they just happen to have it for sale?
No, this is Jackie Carey. So you can buy this book through her website. She's in the UK.
Uh-huh.
So I bought this book and another book because it can't travel alone. From the UK, and it had arrived on Friday.
Oh, that looks rather beautiful.
And in it, it's like, what is a sweet bag?
So they didn't tell you in the class?
Well, yeah, they did, because I thought you put lollies in it.
I know, you were excited about it.
I was so excited that I was going to have this specially made lolly bag. It's got pictures.
Do you even eat lollies?
Yeah, do I eat lollies?
I mean, I eat chocolate, but I don't eat lollies. Martin's a big sweet guy.
These must have been so amazing. So a lot of these are done in gold work, so all that black would have been silver. It's just gorgeous. And there's instructions on how to do a lot of the stitches.
And because you already have a base, you
Exactly.
could probably do them.
Exactly. I thought there were some prettier stitches. Oh, yep, and there's like how to do the wee toggles on the end.
That beading?
No, there's
that
all
beading?
stitched.
Ah.
Stitched and knotted and...
Great.
I think you're making these...
Frog claspy thingies?
knot things that they put down the sides. So there's lots of photos, lots of information.
And colour, full colour.
Full colour, beautiful gloss. Look how gorgeous that is. But look how bizarre. There's like a wee devil in there. I'm sure it's supposed to be a squirrel. And then a bird. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So that is my first purchase.
Okay, so I had an attack of, you have to stop being so mean, Catherine, because I buy a lot of secondhand, and I really admire like creative people. I want to encourage like indie makers and creatives and dyers and stuff, but ultimately I do a lot of it myself, so I don't buy a lot. So I really wanted to support this indie maker from the UK, indie dyer, and her company is called Mothy and Squid. She did a lot of work on Instagram, and she still does. She's quite the activist. So she was quite vocal during Black Lives Matter, like when all the protests kind of kicked off in America. I mean, the fight for Black Lives Matter continues. The situation's worse than ever, in fact. But when a lot of those protests happened, she was very vocal. She lives in Scotland. She's very vocal about queer rights. So I think it's great. I consume a lot of her output on Instagram. Like, I follow her, I read it, I appreciate what she does, and I thought, you know what, you should support people instead of just looking at their Instagram. And so anyway, I supported by buying this skein of yarn.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it gorgeous? The problem is I don't really like superwash. I don't really want superwash in the universe. So it's really hard because 99% of the indie dyers use superwash. But I thought, you know what, I can use superwash for socks, because most superwash will have nylon, and then I can use that for socks. So, like, I wouldn't have superwash next to my skin because it's all plastic coated. I'm just not interested. But look at the deliciousness that this is.
And
that's not quite the right colour.
Amazing. No, it's a lot yellower.
No, I think it's almost like turmeric.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So her prices are the same as anybody else's, but the postage, oh my lord, that was expensive. Anyway, her company is called Mothy and Squid.
I love that there's a little thing.
She gave me a little progress keeper, which I don't buy progress keepers, but I was so glad that it arrived with a progress keeper. I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's a little drink. Anyway,
it's beautiful.
So very cute. So if you're interested in supporting a good egg indie dyer, Mothy and Squid. She's Scottish. She's actually a trained doctor.
Oh!
But something happened. She's just come out as autistic. And there was something about what she needed, some accommodation that she needed to be able to be a doctor, that the NHS weren't willing to do. And so she had to give up that career, which is really tragic. Yeah. But yeah, she does lots of good educating around queerness and minorities and elevating marginalized groups and all that sort of thing. So I like someone like that. So, yay. Cool. Next book, Victoria.
So because books can't travel alone, this is the other Jackie Carey book that I got from the UK, Elizabethan Stitches. Look at the sample on the back. It's so pretty. And this, again, let me find a cool page. Beautiful coloured illustrations, instructions on how to do stitches. There's some photos of some finished objects. Aren't they amazing?
What's lovely is that, because there's lots of antique books about this, but they're mostly black and white. Like, you might have 10 photos that are colour and the rest are black and white. So it's lovely to get the full black and white, full colour.
It's gorgeous. They used such bright colours. Where's that case study picture that I went past the other day?
You could choose your next adventure in the UK by picking the museums that have their things.
Absolutely. And you know, pre-arrange, and you can, they'll pull things out of storage for you. And how gorgeous
Actually,
is
that's
that?
a new thing. The V&A, Victoria and Albert Museum, have decided that museums have to be for everyone. So literally,
yeah,
if people want to see anything in the collection, they will do it, but not in that kind of like, all right, we'll get around to it at some point. They will do it.
They'll make it,
like that.
Well,
that's
you have to pre-arrange it. Plus
but
the
this
room.
is a new thing.
Yeah.
This is a brand new thing. It's like 2023 is the year that we democratize the V&A, and things are going to be a lot more open, because museums and galleries are like icebergs.
Yeah,
you just get to see a very tip of the iceberg.
And the current display techniques is to have a lot of white space with just one or two objects, as opposed to let's cram as much stuff out as we can, which is my preferred.
But theoretically, all museums should make things available for people. But it's a bit like when we contacted Toy 2. And they were like, yeah, you could, but can you come back to us in a couple of years because we're very busy.
Yeah.
So the V&A has decided that's not how it's going to roll. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've done another one. Oh, okay. So I wanted to show you, I want to show you this in case I forget. So me, I never do a class. I'll do a book in a minute, but I never do a class because I always feel that people are trying to impose rules on me and I don't like it. But then, Amy from, what's her Instagram?
It's so
easy.
It's so easy. Always get that wrong.
She saw the books that I bought that I'm going to show you. And then she said, oh, Joe Dixie's coming to Dunedin to do a class on that. And I was like, I really like Joe Dixie's Instagram account. So I'm doing this class.
And I hadn't told Catherine about this class because Catherine doesn't do classes.
She hadn't told me because she didn't want me to go. She didn't want me to spend the fee. She was like, Catherine won't like the fee.
She's doing 2 classes. I've signed up for both.
Oh, Joe Dixie's doing 2 classes.
Joe Dixie, yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, it sounded like I was doing 2 classes.
Oh, no. I'm doing the 2.
I'm just doing 1 class.
I just hadn't told you about her classes because you don't do classes.
That's right. She didn't want me to come. Anyway, I was very excited. I love Joe Dixie because she trained at the Royal School of Needlework. And she's one cool lady. And I love this idea that New Zealanders go and train and come back and bring those skills back. But also she does her beautiful embroidery, like gold work, silk shading, all those traditional things, but she also does conceptual work. So she's had a few exhibitions which are very conceptual, and I really appreciate that. But anyway, I know how to do silk shading. I'm a little bit rubbish. But really, the reason I'm paying the fee and I'm going to a class where I'm being told what to do is because I want to meet her. And in fact, I signed up for the class. I had to pay for the class, but there's going to be a talk as well.
Yeah, I didn't know about the talk.
Yeah, and apparently that was going to be free. So it's in Dunners. Like, have a look. Come and do the thing.
Support local. That's Stitch Witches. That's our local embroidery / quilting shop.
Yeah. But in fact, now I won't be able to go to the talk because my lovely baby phoned, Christina, who's in Stewart Island, phoned and said, what are you doing for your birthday? So that was the week I've taken off because my birthday. And then I said to Martin, we're going to have to come back because I'm doing an embroidery class. Because we were going to go with the camper for like 11 days, like 5, 6, 7, 9 days. Now we can't because embroidery class. But now, Christina's going to come, and before the embroidery class, we're going to go travelling together for my birthday. Lovely. Just her and I. Just
lovely.
For 2 days, which is so lovely. So, anyway, I think we all do the same. Sometimes we just sign up for classes because of the person, not because of the thing. So anyway, I'm very excited to meet her. And she lives in the North Island, so it's not every week that she comes to Dunedin to teach a class.
No.
Oh, I'll show you the book.
Yeah, show your book.
This is from the public library. Also, incidentally, this relates to my question that I put to the Flosstube in Spanish. The people that watch us outside of New Zealand, have you been to New Zealand? Are you planning to come to New Zealand? That would be interesting. And the people that watch us that are in New Zealand, were you born here or did you come like I did? Are you a Victoria that was born here or a Catherine that came to live here? Anyway, this book is amazing. It's called Te Puna Waiora, The Distinguished Weavers of Te Kahui Whiritoi. So Maori have a tradition of weaving with the flax plant. I'm trying to find the flower. I'm trying to find the plant. But you'll all know it. It's quite an architectural plant that gets used in architectural, like modern houses all over the world. So this is made with flax. So it's all about the different weaving that they do. So they've got kete, which are baskets, and they've got all different styles of baskets. They've got piu-piu, which are the skirts. And I went to a weaving, there's the flax plant. That's the flax plant. I went to a weaving course that lasted almost 3 years where I learned to weave with flax. And I've got 3 kettle left because, of course, they're natural materials. And I did use them and love them, and they start to get a bit raggedy. So if you're interested in New Zealand culture, if you're in New Zealand, this is about makers. So it's like individual artists and what they produce. So I think it's a lovely addition. I wish they did things like this a bit more in other countries. Like, for example, when I went to Chile, it was hard to find book. Impossible. I did eventually find one in a museum about Mapuche jewelry, which is really hard. They're not doing the research. They're not publishing books on their indigenous people's art. So, great book, and shout out to our public libraries in New Zealand, which are amazing.
I've bought a wrong book, but I'll show it to you anyway. You'll all remember.
You bought it or brought it?
Brought it here.
We've talked about this one already.
Yep, you'll all remember that I bought this and that it was number 4 in the series. So that's important. This is
I never
number
noticed
4.
that, but I don't need sets of things. Someone that does need sets of things did notice that.
Did notice that. So what I have bought...
Dun, dun, dun.
Are books 1 through 3.
Oh,
but I have
let's
left
see what
book
you mean.
1.
You've left book 1 behind.
Because I didn't mean to bring book 4, but apparently when I was pulling this off the shelf this morning for
with the overexcitement.
Yeah. So we'll show you. I'll show you
And
number 1 next time. So, there's a bit of a spoiler. Something to anticipate.
We've got quite a few inspirations books now.
I do. They seem to be a very...
I think I've got one as well.
Yes.
That's where my etui is.
This one's got more adorable pincushions.
I love the cushion on the front.
Cushion on the front. I won't show you all these because these have been out for a while. I'm sure most people will
Look
see
at that.
Got a better view of that.
Oh, this is crewel work.
Crowd work. Oh, maybe that's just the view. Beautiful birds and...
Jacobean hunt.
There's something cool.
Thread painting.
Thread painting. Oh, I'm looking at the instructions. Go back. Ooh. Bit of gold work.
Actually, the thing I'm loving most about this book is the blue on the band. It's not showing the right blue. It's beautiful.
No. Very sort of navy, Royal Navy.
It's Royal Navy,
and
isn't
you
it?
know it's a posh
Royal
book
blue.
when it comes with a fabric bookmark in the spine. Except it's tucked in the bottom. I'm just not going to untuck it. Look, gorgeous coloured pictures.
Nice.
I showed that. Oh, I quite like this little fella.
What is it?
He's a wee birdie in a cage, but he's got like robes and shit on.
But the cage is open, so
Yeah,
we don't
that's
have to
all good.
feel bad about it.
Anyway, that's book number 2.
I'll have to have a proper look. Victoria and I are going to have bread and jam for dessert, so I'll have a look through that. Oh, okay. So I went to Oamaru, and they have a lovely embroidery / craft / knitting shop. And somehow we always end up going in there. And I know what happens when I go in.
And I miss it. I don't think I know where it is.
It's on that side. It's on the same side as Farmers, but a block before.
Okay.
It's actually very nondescript. They don't really advertise themselves very well.
You and I will have to go for a trip when you go
Yes.
get more wool, and we'll go to that shop.
Yeah. Oh my god, and I also discovered a potter in Oamaru called Silenzio, as in silence in Italian. Oh my god. Beautiful work. I just didn't have the cash. God, I'd bought these books, and I was like, I cannot justify it, so we're going to go back to buy stuff. So anyway, I bought this.
Love this book, want this book.
So Chloe Giordano. I love her work. I follow her on Instagram. I think she's fabulous. I'm not sure I'll make any of the patterns because I love her work. I think it's so beautiful. It's just not me. I'm just not going to have it in my house.
But it's a beautiful little coffee
So
table
beautiful.
book.
But I've already learned from it because one of the things that I love is that and now I know she uses calico. And that's like a peasant cloth. And that's so much more me than silks and fancy stuff. So I'm going to buy some calico and try things out. So it's just really nice to kind of find out how another maker that does beautiful work operates. I also found out that she dyes her own cloth.
Ooh.
So she's an illustrator that uses embroidery as her medium. So she started out doing like painting and stuff. She went to university to study illustration. But she changed her medium to embroidery because she loved it so much. And she's self-taught. And she doesn't use embroidery floss. She uses Gutenberg sewing thread.
Ah, so
Yeah.
it's thinner, finer.
I'm not sure actually, I couldn't tell you. This is a wee selection of her threads. And I think it always seems to me like radical, like, look, she's not following the rules. I love that. So I'm like, go you. I very much believe in not following the rules. So
Pieces are beautiful.
yeah, and this actually ties in very beautifully. She's got jars and full of her threads. This ties in with my botanical illustration course because I do botanical illustration. It's not really me. It's like another thing I've discovered that I love the look of, but am I ever going to do that? But I can see myself doing the botanical illustration from my garden and then turning it into an embroidery. That seems more me than just having botanical illustrations. So I'm excited about that. So, so this is enhanced. 127 Thomas Street. Yeah, I really recommend this book. The style is it's kind of chatty, how she talks to you about how she does things. Beautiful illustrations. None of us can afford one of her original works, so we can enjoy just having the book.
Beautiful
I will lend it to you.
in there.
You can have a look. When we're having bread and jam, you can have a look.
Yeah, so I looked at it when I was here last week,
Okay.
but I didn't bring all my books.
Cool.
So this is book number 3, which a lot of you will be familiar with because I think it came out last year or 18 months ago. I'm going to make that pear. It's the sort of the companion piece to the pomegranate.
Ooh.
It's in my Pincushion book.
Ah.
Love these books.
Is this again like Lots of Makers?
Yep.
Cool.
Each different project is a different artist. And they're just beautiful. Here's the pear. I have a feeling I might be getting into stitching fruit.
That's a very cross-stitchy thing to do as well.
Turtle. Isn't that gorgeous? So there's a penguin in the fourth
Is
book.
that stamp work?
I think that's gold work and stump work and I don't know. Lots of things. So beautiful. That's stump work. Look at the flowers. Beautiful. Look at the succulents. I really like that they're embroidered succulents, by the way. That's not a photo
That
of actual.
looks like the technique with the wings.
I'm sure. Yes. How gorgeous are they? I need to have some rustic wooden tables, apparently.
Yes, everybody that does craft needs rustic wooden tables.
Anyway, so I have now completed the collection until book 5 comes out, which will then need to be purchased.
Will it come out?
I'm sure it will.
Well,
Because this one came out last year, the 4th one came out this year. I'm assuming they do it sort of once every year or 18 months.
Well, 12 designers.
Yeah, 12
Nice.
projects, 12 designers, 1 location.
Bum, bum, bum. And my last book, are you done with your books?
That's my shopping.
And my last book was again in Enhance in Oamaru, and it's this one. Because I realised, so Trish Burr is a very famous embroiderer. Like, if you're into embroidery, you've come across the name for sure. What I didn't know is that she's South African, so that was kind of interesting. But I had an epiphany when I turned 50, and that was a lot of the things that I do I've liked from about the age of 18, and a lot of the things that I like I've always liked. So I was kind of like, maybe it's time to just devote time to those things. So thread painting is one of those things that I really do like, and so I thought, oh, okay, just focus a bit more on that, Catherine. So I am. So it's a beautiful, you get this hard case, you get the patterns in here, but then you can take this book out and it's soft covered. But this is the first project that I want to do from here. It's a flower sampler.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it lovely? So beautiful. Oh, just love it.
Heartsease, I found out that these flowers here, no, not those flowers, these ones here, pansies is what we'd call them now. It used to be called heartsease.
Heartsease, yeah. So cute. Viola family, yeah. Very lovely. Oh, and I love number 6 particularly. It's like wild. She has wild hair, this flower. Anyway, but there's lots of lovely projects. So this ties in with my curtain that I'm making. Oh, see this? I love this. Wild.
Gorgeous.
It made me think of Georgia O'Keeffe. I wonder why. So again, also this is oh see, and I love this as well. So this is Love in a Mist, which is a very cottage garden flower. But this is the seed head. This is after it's matured, which I just think is so lovely. I was talking to a friend about botanical illustration, and there's lots of different styles. But I love the idea of doing decaying flowers. Mm-hmm. Just after I'm contrary.
After they bloom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the bee! Sorry.
She's a bit obsessed with bees.
Do you like a bee?
I do like a bee as well. So I definitely would recommend this. Can I just say, I love fuchsias.
Gorgeous.
Makes me laugh because I follow someone on Instagram, and they posted a photo of them cutting their threads from a fuchsia. And they were like, you know, when you make, you have to accept that you have to undo as well. But because I wasn't the maker, I was like, why are you cutting it? It looks perfect. But of course, they could see something different.
Yeah.
So this is really beautiful. I mean, I could just spend my life embroidering now, really. So much fun.
Oh, show the moth. That's
oh, my
cute.
Lord. I am having to draw a blimming poppy head, seed head, in my botanical illustration. I could turn it into an embroidery. What did you want me to show?
The page in front. Oh, that's even better. Show that one.
Okay, I'm not bothered about this.
It's a grasshopper.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I just like the flowers. What else?
And then turn it over again. That one. I like that. I think that's gorgeous.
Yeah, you can do that one. I'll do the flowers.
Okay.
I've got to be careful when I say things like that, because the day after I'll be like, oh, I do want to do that. This is how contrariness happens. Very beautiful. Oh, sweet peas. I can't grow sweet peas. Every gardener has a thing they can't grow. And sweet peas are easy, can't grow them. But very beautiful. I could embroider them. So I am determined. We have to be accountable. I really want to get into thread painting.
Excellent. Well, it's going to help by going to Jo Dixie's class.
I think
hopefully be inspired.
What's going to help is to actually pull my finger out and actually get going. Oh, I've just got one last thing to show. I really do want to show this because I loved it so much and it's so special. So Margarita was spoiling us again, and it was my turn to be spoiled. And I was so giddy, and I talked about this in the Spanish Flosstube. Not last night, but the one before. Because she sent me this parcel, and I opened it, and my eyes went straight to the little panettone that she sent me. I was like so excited. I went on Instagram, and I may have sent her a squealing message. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So excited. I ate them both on the same day. One in the morning and one in the afternoon, though, because I'm not an animal.
Yeah.
But she also sent me this.
I love that bag. It's so beautiful.
And so this has now become our peg bag, which is flipping fantastic because we live in a little house, and we're having solutions that are bag-based. So there's no room to have like a caddy.
No.
But I have room to hang this from the little kitchen hook.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful object too. So everything like dual purpose, beautiful piece of work.
Yes, exactly. And it's fair trade,
Full
so
with
I'm
pegs.
all about that. And she sent me a load of pegs. So as I said, what happens in life is the pegs go into the wash basket, the hanging out basket or bag, and then I slowly steal from it as I need it. But anyway, I was thrilled with this. Look at this fabric.
That's gorgeous.
Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that, vintage goodness. Anyway, super fantastic, perfect gift. So I was really, really delighted with this. She also sent me some indigo from Luxor. And this indigo is quite a different color to the indigo I have. The one I have is like super deep, like navy blue. So it'll be interesting to see what this produces. She sent me a gorgeous card, and obviously I really like Margarita because I would normally be cross if my family got me a Christmas card.
It's so contrary.
I am very contrary. A beautiful little pouch that I haven't put anything in because I was waiting to show it. And I think this one was from Luxor as well.
Ooh.
Margarita, you're very well travelled. I'm a little bit jealous, but happy for you.
But mainly jealous.
It's a mixture. Look, I've got a little panettone decoration. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Love it.
Is that a decoration, or was that the box that the panettone came in?
No, the box is like the 100-gram one, so it's about this big.
I thought that was the size of like what Kinsui ate too. It's just a wee sample size.
No. There was at least 6 mouthfuls in the other ones. No, this is just a little decoration, which I think is brilliant. And she also sent me this,
Gorgeous.
which was amazing. So this is a vintage or antique piece of practice cloth. Isn't it lovely? The best thing, of course, is that it says gay.
Cool.
So I'm very pro that. So I love it. Thank you so much. I'm super, super, super pleased. I mean, this has got all the good stuff. Is that it's linen that has like the 2 red lines. That's the best sort of old fabric. Beautiful, imperfect stitching. Yeah, super lovely.
It's gorgeous.
Whoever stitched this, we obviously share genes because there's a few letters with no perfection. Like I love these wonkiness. E and F, they're quite wonky. I love them. Anyway, I am definitely going to display this in my craft room. I love it so much, and thank you so much for knowing me so well and knowing the things that I would love. Really appreciate your comments and your cheering us on and being just wonderful.
We do.
Anyway, I think that's it. We've been like here forever. Oh my lord, this is like an hour and a half now.
Yeah, and this has been full on shopping and stitching, so it's a little bit more intense than normal.
Yes, it is, because someone disappeared for a month.
Yeah.
So let us know if you've been to New Zealand or are planning to come to New Zealand, or if you live in New Zealand, if you were born in New Zealand and you're a Victoria, or if you came to New Zealand after you were born and you're a Catherine. It'd be interesting.
But I also want to add, if you're planning to come to New Zealand, why? What are you most excited to spot? What made you choose New Zealand?
Oh yeah.
And what are you most excited to see? Are you going to Hobbiton, which I have never been to but is on my wish list? Or are you going to see some nature?
I mean, the big question is, are you going to the North Island or the South Island? Because
South Island's way better.
people, I had a friend in the UK that came to New Zealand, the North Island, for the honeymoon, and I was like, why?
Why? North Island's
Like, beautiful, but there's like this perception that the South Island is like the most beautiful part. I mean, it's all hair splitting because it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what draws you in.
Yeah.
So
So we won't do what we're planning. We're planning to stitch, have Easter, and go on holiday, but we'll tell you about it when we get back.
yes,
So we'll see you in a fortnight, all going well.
yes, and have a lovely couple of weeks. Hope we get some stitching done, and some rest and some fun stuff.
Yeah. Ka kite!
Ka kite.